Hey everybody, it's Joe Wu. Guess what time it is? It's time for another edition of the Career Tip Minute, where if you've got a minute, I've got a career tip for you. This is episode 29, How to Ace the Interview. And I'll tell you, the interview process is probably one of the most scary and frustrating parts for anybody in a whole job search, even in your career. And let's face it, I've been in corporate America 25 years, got my own business now. I still get scared sometimes of the interview process. But today I'm going to share with you, I think, 4 tips that are really going to help you ace your interview and put your mind at ease. Now, the first thing you want to do here is you've got to do your research on the company. You've also got to do the research on the job that you're applying for and the industry. I think what happens is so many people get into the interview process, they're happy that they get the interview, and they don't do any research. You might do a little bit of research on the job, but you've got to know what the position requires. You've got to know what the company's about. Then you also have to know what's going on in the industry, because most likely they're going to ask you those types of questions. So you've really got to be prepared. So do your homework and do your research on that. That is absolutely key and critical. Now, something that really boggles my mind, it's one of my biggest pet peeves, is when people show up late to interviews. You've got to do a dry run of the interview. And what I mean by that is, if you know where your interview's at and you're driving by car, make sure you do a dry run, drive by, make sure you know where to park, where to go, where the lay of the land is, if there's any construction, because you do not want to be late for an interview. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. And I'll tell you, I've actually stopped the interview even before it has gotten started when somebody's been late without any kind of excuse. Now, things happen. We get into accidents, we have emergencies, but if you're 5 to 10 minutes late to an interview, chances are you're not going to get that job. So make sure you do the dry run. You know where you have to go, where all the particulars are, especially if you're in a big city where the parking garage is at. If you have to take a train or subway, whatever it is, you've got to know and do that dry run. It will pay dividends for you, because there's been times where I was late early in my career and I didn't get the job because of that. Now, one big thing here, number 3, is you've got to demonstrate your skills. So many people, when they get into the interview, they'll talk about their skill set. Well, I'm a great communicator. Well, I like to, work well with people on teams and things like that. And here's the biggest problem. You don't go into the story, or you don't really demonstrate your skills. You've got to say why you're a team player. Did you do team building activities? Or if you're an accountant, how did you save the company money? What specifically did you do to save the company money? Or if you're applying, let's say, for just an entry-level position, what are some things that you can do? What are some life stories that you have that can show your skill set? So if you're great at organization or organizing things, you've got to show that skill set some way and tell the story and paint the picture and show, not just say you have the skill set. It's very important, very clear to demonstrate those skills. Now, the 4th thing, which I think so many people miss, is practice. You've got to practice the interview multiple times. Do it in front of a mirror. Get a camera like I have here, a simple cell phone, set up in the corner. Doesn't need to be perfect. Videotape yourself, and you'll see the little nuances that you do in your voice, the inflections, you'll see your mannerisms, and it will go a long way. It's like a lot of athletes do. Golfers, they get a video of their swings, and they see what goes well, what doesn't work well. And if you really practice your interview in front of a mirror, get a camera and do that, and get some feedback, and I'll tell you, it will go a long way. So these are the 4 most important things that I believe will help you to ace interview. I hope you enjoyed this Career Tip Minute. See you next time. Live amazing, everybody. Bye-bye.